Right now at noon, if you were affected by flooding this summer, today's the last day you can sign up to get help from the government. Plus, the president is still threatening to force a partial government shutdown if he doesn't get his border wall funding. And the Interior Secretary has announced his resignation from the Trump administration, why he is being investigated.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Mark is on vacation. I'm Josh Sprider. Developing right now at noon, we've learned the UW-Whitewater chancellor has resigned. Beverly Copper announced her resignation this morning. She says her resignation as chancellor is effective December 31st. Be sure to stay with News 3 on this developing story. We'll have more starting on Live at 4. A sunny start to our Monday. Meteorologist Chris Reese is here now with your first alert forecast. Definitely gives you a little bit of a little bright smile out there.
Yeah, and it's going to continue as we go through the afternoon and into Tuesday as well. Temperatures have been warming up this morning after they fell into the 20s. Look at that, Josh. Not a cloud in the sky. 36 degrees, the temperature right now. Honestly, we were forecasting 34. So already we have seen how things are on the warmer side with enough sunshine out there. 37 in Janesville right now. Still colder to the north. We're at 30 in Wautoma and 33 in the Dells. But temperatures are still substantially colder than they were at this time yesterday. Now we are seeing the impact of that cold front that came through, even though our morning was a little bit warmer. Winds are still out of the north and northwest, mainly across all of the area. That'll keep us cooler into the afternoon. I do think our highs will top out around 37 degrees and then cool down into the mid-20s by the time we get you towards 9:30 and low 20s overnight tonight. In your forecast first, expect those temperatures to fall all the way towards about 22 degrees for tomorrow morning, but still plenty of sunshine as we go through the rest of today and clear skies for stargazing if you're one of those types.
Really
we'll
can't
be out
complain
tonight
with that forecast.
It's perfect Monday.
All right, Chris, thank you. Grant County deputies are looking for a possibly armed and dangerous man. He's the suspect of 2 stolen cars from last week. Deputies are searching for 29-year-old Thomas Cussmall of Platteville. He's accused of stealing 2 trucks from Southwest Road just south of Platteville early Friday morning. Officials ask anyone with information on Cussmall's whereabouts to call the Grant County Sheriff's Office or Grant County Crime Stoppers. They say no one should approach Cussmall, and it is not known if he is armed, but he is considered dangerous. He has possible ties to the Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, Blue River, Platteville, and Belmont areas. One person is recovering this noon after being seriously injured in a car versus Amish buggy crash. Emergency crews responded late Friday morning to Highway 81 at Cathy Road in Lafayette County. Investigators say 19-year-old Tyler Knight of Janesville lost control of his car while going around a curve. His car crossed the center line and hit a westbound horse and buggy. The driver of that horse and buggy, 39-year-old Katie Ebersol of Darlington, was thrown from the buggy and seriously injured. Officials say Knight was not injured. He was cited for failure to keep a vehicle under control. We now know an estimated 3,000 gallons of manure spilled out of a tank that overturned earlier this month in Grant County. Officials say on December 4th, a tractor slipped down a hill during icy conditions in Liberty Township. Investigators found the tires on the tractor lost traction and slid down a steep embankment. The tank rolled over onto its side and an estimated 2,500 to 3,000 gallons of manure leaked onto the ground in the pasture. The driver not injured in that crash. If you are still dealing with damage from flooding this summer, today is the last day you can ask for help from the federal government. FEMA says it has received more than 1,700 applications for help so far in Wisconsin. Statewide damages from this summer's flooding totaled close to $250 million. People in Dane, Sauk, Richland, Juneau, and Marquette counties are among those eligible to apply for assistance. You can do so online at disasterassistance.gov or by calling the 800 number on the bottom of your screen. Baraboo community leaders are beginning a series of programs this week to share a message of unity. Today begins a series called Baraboo Acts Serve to Unite. Tonight, community members will hear a message from 2 different groups impacted by some form of hate in the past. That's at 7:30 at the Al Ringling Theater. Tomorrow, the Baraboo School District will also have a Thunderbird Day of Peace exclusively for students. Students will hear presentations on civil rights, social media literacy, diversity, and restorative justice. President Trump is not backing down from his threat to force a partial government shutdown if Congress does not approve $5 billion for his border wall. President Trump kept the pressure on Democrats this morning to fund his wall with Mexico, tweeting, Anytime you hear a Democrat saying that you can have good border security without a wall, write them off as just another politician following the party line. The tweet comes a day after White House senior advisor Stephen Miller doubled down on the president's threat to shut down the government Friday at midnight if Congress doesn't come through with the money.
This is a very, if it comes to it, absolutely. This is a very fundamental issue.
All he's going to get with his temper tantrum is a shutdown. He will not get a wall.
If the partial shutdown happens, more than 420,000 federal employees, including 41,000 law enforcement officials, and up to 88% of the Homeland Security Department staff would be working without pay over the holidays. Right now, President Trump is also searching for a new Interior Secretary. This after the current Secretary Ryan Zinke announced this weekend he will be leaving the Trump administration by the end of the year. In a tweet, Mr. Trump said, "Ryan has accomplished much during his tenure, and I want to thank him for his service to our nation." The Department of Justice is looking into whether a land deal Zinke struck in his hometown of Whitefish, Montana is a conflict of interest. Also, a small two-person energy company from Whitefish landed a $300 million no-bid federal contract to repair utility lines in Puerto Rico following the devastation of Hurricane Maria. Zinke denies he played any role in that decision. Secretary Zinke is leaving just one day before Democrats take control of the House. They were preparing to launch investigations into the Interior Secretary's actions. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today is National Maple Syrup Day, so join us as we tap into some ideas that we know you're going to love. Get it? Tap. With Christmas just around the corner and all the last-minute excitement going on, we almost forgot that today is National Maple Syrup Day. So to celebrate, how about having waffles, pancakes, or French toast dripping with, you guessed it, maple syrup? By the way, make sure you don't get maple syrup mixed up with pancake syrup, which doesn't even have real maple syrup in it. To make things even more special, we came up with a recipe for streusel top maple muffins that are ideal for serving today, and the recipe is perfect to have on hand right through the end of the year. We start by making a basic muffin recipe from scratch. The difference with these is that they're laced with a good amount of real maple syrup. Then we top each one with our homemade streusel topping before popping them in the oven. When the whole house smells amazing, you'll know they're done. Imagine serving these on Christmas morning while the family opens their presents, or New Year's morning while everyone's trying to open their eyes. To get the recipe so you can celebrate this fun food holiday, head over to our website and type in Morning Maple Muffins. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a maple-licious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Still ahead at noon, another sunny day across southern Wisconsin. Meteorologist Chris Reese is in next with your first alert forecast. You're watching News 3 at noon. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on those consumer questions. You can call for action anytime at 608-270-2833 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 to 1. Time now to take a look at the stock market. The Dow is down 91 points, NASDAQ down 17. Time now to check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yonke. And Pam, I'm learning that I say manure wrong. It's manure. I've been saying it wrong my whole life, I guess.
I always say if you've worked with it, you call it manure. If you're reading a script, you may say something else. That's all right, Josh. I think we all know where you're going. Don't sweat that stuff.
It's Monday. I'm struggling.
Hey, but baby, this weather makes it easier to struggle through a Monday all the way around. So that I'll take. But yeah, you're right. Talking a little bit about what's happening in farm country. We are still trying to capitalize on places where we can spread manure. Honestly, it's one of those deals where if the ground's not quite frozen, a lot of Wisconsin farmers, because the harvest was so delayed and so goofed up, we still have some of those chores to get done before the snow comes, before the hard freeze takes place. Markets are paying attention to international developments today. Bloomberg reporting that China is going to ease up on some of their tariff restrictions, specifically on U.S. corn, coming to the market potentially to purchase 3 million bushel of U.S. corn sometime sometime before we get to the first full week of January. Now, the market has not responded very much to these discussions, but if it's looming out there, we may see a little action, maybe even before the close today, or definitely once that corn starts rolling. Thing you got to remember is a lot of the corn and soybeans that China is supposedly buying, it's already sitting in warehouses in the Pacific Northwest just waiting for the news. So, like I said, it's nice to see maybe we're starting to defrost that relationship a little bit, but it's going to take some big numbers for the market to come around on that. As far as the dairy markets are concerned today in Chicago, a little uptick. Barrel cheese is up a penny at $1.32. 40-pound block cheese up a quarter at $1.41. Double A butter today, though, that's down a half, $2.18.5 per pound. But overall, things are holding together pretty well. And like I said, Josh, don't look the gift horse in the mouth with this kind of weather forecast out there. I can make it through a Monday so long as I'm running around not even worried about where my jacket is. I think I left mine in my truck, believe it or not.
It surely doesn't feel like the week before Christmas right now, that's for sure.
No, that's for those that are wanting snow. They might have a bone to pick with our weather department.
That is true. All right, Pam, we'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
We'll send it over to meteorologist Chris Reese, and it's not looking good for that white Christmas, Chris.
It's really not. I think I have a bone to pick with Mother Nature herself on trying to get some snow around here. It has been a struggle. We really can't even buy a snowflake this December, but we can buy cold fronts. And we had one that came through last night, and temperatures are now 7 degrees colder this afternoon as opposed to yesterday afternoon. 36 degrees right now in Madison, Rock County. Let's say hello to you guys in Janesville. You guys are at 37 right now. We work our way up towards the north, places like Westfield or Camp Douglas. Those are in the lower 30s at the moment as of now. So it's a little bit cooler towards the north, but we do have a lot of sunshine, and I think we can all take that with some stride for a Monday. Wind still out of the north and northwest at 7 miles per hour. The dew point, half of our temperature right now, and that is actually some drier air, which is helping things heat up pretty quickly. Hear those winds across the state. Just about all of us are seeing those winds come out of the north and northwest this afternoon. That's going to keep temperatures at bay with where they are. We may warm up another couple degrees towards 37. And then once the sun sets, we'll see those temperatures drop back into the 20s fairly quickly and then level out into the lower 20s tonight because a change in our wind direction will help keep those temperatures from dropping dramatically. In fact, we'll see those winds out of the east towards 11:30, the southeast in the wee hours of the morning, eventually turning out of the south as a whole tomorrow. And I do suspect this will mean temperatures making it into the low 40s for those highs. What's happening is high pressure is sliding over to the east. As that does so, it will give way for a region of low pressure to bring a warm front through our area. With there not being a lot of moisture to our air, that does mean things will certainly stay on the sunny side. There's a little bit of moisture back to the west, and I do think that will increase some cloud cover into Wednesday as two little cold fronts come on through here. They're going to be fairly weak, though, but I do think it'll touch off at least some chances for some flurries, along with some colder temperatures by the weekend. At least it'll feel like Christmas with temperatures near 25 on Sunday. The big day itself actually looking like temperatures right around 32 degrees. Let's go ahead and show you guys the upper air pattern with the shots of colder air coming into the picture. You'll notice one this weekend and then another one that begins to move into the picture as we get you towards the 23rd and then closer to Christmas. But overall, that colder air is going to be building up over Canada. That will likely set the stage for what could be an active end of the month to bring us some snow chances. We'll see how that plays out, but ultimately, typically Decembers have been all or nothing around here. We average 13.5 inches of snow, and oftentimes we end up with more than 20 inches or less than 5. So far, we are in the less than 5 department. We will see how things shape up once we get past Christmas, but it doesn't look good for now. Still plenty of sunshine, though. A little wintry mix Wednesday night, and then as we head towards the end of the next 7 to 10 days, we are going to keep sky conditions mainly dry, but temperatures on the cooler side. Josh?
All right, Chris, thank you. Time to get those plant and garden questions ready to go. Linda with the Bruce Company is coming up next with the answers. Call 270-9933. This is News 3 at noon. Welcome back at noon. Linda Bars from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. The number to call is 270-9933. And Linda, you're just saying the lack of snow kind of means you can be doing some stuff outside right now.
Surprisingly enough, yes, if there were some things that you didn't get done. Well, it'd be difficult to plant bulbs yet, but if you had tulip bulbs and it was on the south side, you probably could. Or if you have perennials that are sensitive. And without the snow cover, see, snow really insulates things. So you could put down mulch yet, and it wouldn't be a problem.
That's crazy. And you've got some beautiful flowers out in front of you today.
Yes, I did bring out an array of from poinsettia all the way to, we were talking about phalaenopsis a few shows ago. This is the orchid that is commonly available in white and different pinks and things. Very easy to grow, blooms for a long time. Really easy plant to use.
All right, well, we've got some callers. First, we've got Mike in DeForest. Mike, what's your question?
Hello?
Hi.
What's your question, Mike?
Okay, yeah, I have a mini rose bush that I had planted in a pot outside, and I was wondering to transplant that into the ground, if I should wait till next spring after I trip off all the buds, or if I should try to plant it out there now yet. It's semi-dormant now.
Okay, semi-dormant. Has it been inside?
It's been outside all summer.
Okay, so if it's been outside and is still outside, you could actually put that in the ground, take it out of the pot, and plant it. You'd have to chip through that top layer of frozen soil, and then mulch that with some material, because if it wasn't dormant, I would say keep it inside as a house plant. But as long as it's been outside, get it in the ground. It'll survive better.
All right, our next question is Sue in Belleville. Sue, what's your question?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sue. What's your question?
Yeah, I have some boxwood bushes, and I'm wondering, they're about 3 years old, and I haven't trimmed them at all. Do you trim them now, or?
Well, Sue, I would, because boxwood keep their leaves through the winter, I wouldn't prune them very hard right now, just because I don't know what kind of weather we're going to have. We could go from this nice warm weather to a really cold snap, and that would be hard on them. So I would probably wait until March to do some pruning on them.
Okay, and can you replant them in March also?
You can, if the soil, it depends upon how much snow we have, but if the soil, the snow is melted and the soil is thawed, you could move it then. You could wait till April also.
All right, and I think that's our last caller there, but I think this is kind of one of the time of year people are kind of wondering what they can do, right? Because it's kind of colder. Obviously, the lack of snow definitely has an impact.
Yes, it could. It depends upon how we go from these warm temperatures where things have gotten, they're coming out of dormancy, unfortunately. It's been that warm. So if we slowly get nice and cool gradually, it won't be a problem. If we go to 30 below or something crazy like that, that would be harmful, but unlikely. Chris will tell us.
I know one of the more popular ones, obviously we've got a lot of them here in the studio, is the poinsettias, especially for Christmas.
Yes, and I think that one of the things about that plant is make sure that you keep it evenly moist. You don't want it sitting in water, but you don't want that plant to dry out and wilt, because they drop a lot of their panicles. What people think of as leaves, they can drop if it gets too dry.
Is it too early to start thinking about spring, about what you can kind of do, or is that something you kind of wait on?
Well, I think that some people plan their vegetable gardens, even starting at this time of the year, because we will be getting seeds in come the time in January, typically with Garden Expo. We'll have a lot of seeds that you can choose from, but you can start to lay that out, decide what you're going to do. Probably you aren't going to be working outside doing anything with that yet.
All right, and I think we have one more question here.
Okay.
We've got Mike in Portage. Mike, what's your question?
I got a bunch of trees around my garden, box elder, locust and stuff, and I heard that if you cut them off now, that there's something you can put on the stumps that'll kill them, that they won't come back. There's so many of them, I don't want to stump them or nothing. I just want to cut them off. If I could treat them and they'd die, that'd be fine, and light would get to my garden.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll hang up.
Okay, box elder, well, the material that you're talking about is a type of brush killer. So when you cut off the box elder close to the ground, you immediately want to paint that with this brush killer material that will then be translocated down. Now, you want to do this when it's at least probably 40, like today would be good. When it drops into the 30s, I don't know how well that material moves, because it would have been better to do that probably in November or December.
All right.
But I think it probably would have some effectiveness yet.
All right, well, that's our time for now. If you're on the line, Linda will answer those questions here in a bit, but Chris is going to give us a final check of that forecast.
Plenty of sunshine today, Josh. I think we're going going to be enjoying that. Expect those highs to top out right around 37 degrees, 40 for your Tuesday, 42 on Wednesday. Clouds may increase as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Do watch for a brief chance of a mix Wednesday night and another chance for flurries Friday and Saturday. Unfortunately, the snow chances do not look all that great headed into Christmas, but the sunshine certainly looks fantastic.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you again on Live at 4.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.